If you're a real estate wholesaler using agent outreach as a way to find your first real estate deal, I think it's a dumb idea, and I'm here to tell you the reasons why. Number one is that the agents are onto you. A lot of these agents are getting hit up by other wholesalers because this idea is being touted as the thing to do. And all of you that are doing wholesaling or subject to, these agents are very much giving you a lot of friction up front, telling you to go throw rocks because they're like, oh, you a wholesaler? We want a real buyer. Oh, yeah, we don't want any of that subject to craziness or anything like that. So they're on to you. So now, instead of you just dealing with a conventional property owner, now you're dealing with an agent who knows your game, and they ain't gonna deal with you. That's number one. Number two is that in order to put a property in a contract, say normally when you put a property on the contract with a property owner, a regular typical seller, you're putting in a deposit of $500, but you can also make that deposit due after the inspection period, right? Or you can put a nominal deposit of $100. But with an agent, if you send them a contract, if you send them your wholesale contract, they're going to tell you, like, where do you get this thing from? Did you get this at the toy store? At the Walmart contract aisle? And they're going to say, well, what do you mean $100 deposit? We're not going to take the property, off the market for $100. We need $2,000 or $3,000. So now you got to go out and get some money to put as a deposit. So that's a problem number one. Number two is that if you want a long inspection period, they're also going to tell you to throw rocks. They're going to be like, no, fast. We want a fast inspection period. And then if you get past all of that, and then now you're wanting to show the property and pass your inspectors by, they know your game. They're like, oh, we ain't doing this. We are not doing this. Are you going to buy this or not? Otherwise, we don't want anything to do. So that's an issue that you have when you're dealing with agent outreach, is that there's a lot of things that potentially you can get away with when you're dealing with private owners. And when I say get away with, meaning easier. There's a lot of ways to make a transaction with a private owner a lot easier versus all those things go out the window when you're dealing with. The next reason is collateral damage. When you're brand new, you have no idea what you're doing. You barely know a wholesale contract from a regular contract, from an EMD to an OPPOS, which means overpriced piece of shit. You shouldn't say that to anybody, by the way. That's just between you and I. That's our code, OPPOS. You don't know any better. So you're going to end up screwing some things up. You're going to put a property in the contract, and then you're not going to follow through because you thought it was a deal and it wasn't a deal. And all of a sudden you got to tell the agent who was counting on their commission because they're, wanting to go out eating in Miami at the steakhouse. And then you got to tell them it ain't happening. And guess what they're going to be? They're going to be pissed off at you. And because they're pissed off at you, they don't want anything to do with you. And they're going to write your name down in that little notebook of all the assholes that didn't close on their deals. And guess what? The next time you reach out to them, they're like, I know you. And that's it. You're screwed. So with agent outreach, you have a lot of collateral damage. On the flip side, if you're with a conventional property owner and then you end up just not being able to fulfill on the deal because of the fact that it wasn't the deal you thought it was going to be. Let's just leave it at that. Then you just tell the owner, hey, I can't do the deal. And they might be upset. They might be a little angry, but you tell them, look, buddy, just get on with your life. Go find another buyer because this ain't happening with me. And that's it. Who are they going to tell? Nobody. They're going to go ahead and do their thing. So with agents, that's a problem because they're going to remember you and you'll never be able to do a deal with that agent ever again. So private owners are much better for you if you're a brand new real estate investor. Another reason for agent outreach not being a good idea is because it's not scalable. Yeah, you can call 100 agents, you can find a deal, but what's the likelihood of that agent having another deal just like the one that you have? Unless they're in the business of finding these type of properties, then the answer is no. They're not going to have another deal. So that means next month you have to do another gazillion outreaches to agents and deal with them in order to find another deal. For me, it was different. When I used to be an agent, I used to be an REO agent, meaning I got the properties for the banks. So that means that if you got in my back pocket, then you had a lot of deal flow that you could have access to on a monthly basis. That's not the case with these people. So the challenge with that is that now you're building a skill, you're building a process on a foundation, on a strategy that eventually you're going to want to get out of. So why not start where you want to end up at to begin with? when I started as a real estate investor, I was doing a bunch of stuff. I decided on direct mail at the time, and I said, hey, I'm going to learn direct mail, because I figured once I know this strategy and I could do that well, then at that point, I'm going to just ride that horse all the way to the sunset. And that's the thing that you should be looking at. What's the one strategy today that I can learn, I can implement, that I can get my hands on, that then not only will it help me do deals easier, faster now, but that I don't have to now 6 months later decide, oh, I'm going to do that other thing that I really wanted to do, but I had to do this other thing here that I didn't want to do because I was stuck in a bind. That's not the case. That's not what you should be doing. So for me, it was direct mail. For you, it could be something else. I'm of the opinion that right now in 2025, you should be doing online lead generation to find motivated sellers, because that's the best way to find sellers, incoming leads, warm leads, and you can get them very inexpensively with Facebook and TikTok. So why don't you look at this video or that video there that shows you how I do that, and then maybe you can do that and stop talking with these agents.